Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolfe Pit and another episode of What Are We Eating? Today, we're going to try haggis, which is a Scottish delicacy and is considered the national culinary food of Scotland. Now, if you've never heard of haggis, you probably want to know what it is. Haggis is a savory pudding containing sheep's pluck. Pluck is the heart, liver, and lungs. They're all mixed together with onion, oatmeal, and suet. Suet is the raw, hard fat of beef or mutton found around the loins and kidneys. All that's mixed together with spices and salt and mixed with stock. Traditionally, haggis is encased in sheep's stomach, but nowadays it's often stuffed in artificial sausage casings. I know, most of you are probably grossed out at this point, but I was really looking forward to trying it. I never really knew what haggis was until Charlie McKenzie, Mike Myers, ordered it in the butcher shop in the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer. Once he said it was repellent in every way, and then went on to say that Scottish food is based on a dare, I had to give it a try. Any food based on a dare has got to be really good or really bad. So I picked up a can of Grant's Premium Haggis. I don't know if this is premium or not. It could be gray haggis or it could be bottom of the barrel haggis, but I'm going to find out whether I like it or not, whether it's good or bad haggis. Onto the ingredients, and I'm immediately confused. I just stated above that haggis is made from the pluck, which is the heart, liver, and lungs. However, only lamb lobes are listed here, which are the less expensive and less desired lamb lungs. So you would immediately think the word premium and the name should be taken off the label, wouldn't you? How can it be premium if you're only using one of the three traditional ingredients? I don't know, maybe the lambs weren't smokers and that makes their lungs premium. Also in the traditional haggis, it says it's mixed with broth, but there's water listed here. I'm not really sure if that's going to make a big difference or not, but we're going to find out. This haggis was produced and packed in the UK, and the lamb lobes are from the UK. So no foreign substance in this. And if we end up liking it, it'll make a great addition to our long-term food storage. Just in time for the zombie apocalypse. So let's open up our can of Grant's Premium Haggis and see what bounty of organ meat pudding awaits us. Alright, I'll be the first to admit, that does not look appetizing. But my girlfriends throughout high school keep me optimistic that something ugly can still be quite tasty. It's like the old saying, once you get past the smell, you got it licked. That may have been true in their case, but that's one thing this haggis had going for it. It didn't really smell that bad. Yes, it does look like dog or cat food, but like I said, I'm optimistic. And breaking it apart with a fork, it was very, very dense. So the time had come to take a bite, and I tasted it right out of the can at room temperature. And just like in high school, I didn't really know what to expect, but I tried it, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. The first thing that came to mind when I tasted the haggis was dirty rice without the spiciness. The texture and overall basic flavor was very similar. I've never tried lungs before, but they remind me a little bit of liver with a slight mineral and iron flavor and creamy texture. Now there's two ways you can heat this up, either in the microwave or the hob, and the hob is the stove. And that's the method I'm going to use. It says to empty contents in the saucepan and heat gently, stirring occasionally until warm through. And for a real Scottish flavor, add a wee dram of whiskey before serving. Since it recommended adding a wee dram of whiskey before serving, I felt the need to add wee drams of whiskey to me while it was heating to get into the true Scottish spirit before trying this. So I dumped all the haggis into a skillet over medium heat and broke it apart. And at this point, it still looked like dog food. But after 5 minutes, it started loosening up a bit and started smelling really, really good. Once it continued to warm through and loosen up, it started to look more like ground beef than it did dog food. And after about 8 minutes on medium heat, it was almost completely heated through and it was smelling incredibly good. Also, once heated, the texture has completely changed. Now, it's somewhat smooth and creamy. Once it was completely heated through, I added in the wee dram of whiskey. And the whiskey of choice was Dwar's 18-year-old double-aged blended Scotch whiskey. If it's good enough for my organs, it's good enough for these organs. Then I turned the heat off, gave it a mix, and it was time to eat. And at this point, it was smelling really, really, really good. So I plated up the haggis with some homemade leftover mashed potatoes from Christmas dinner. And I gotta admit, the finished plate looks like a plate of prison food. But like I mentioned before, just because something doesn't look good or the way you want it to look doesn't mean it's not going to taste good. Once the haggis was fully heated through, it got a lot creamier and the flavors really popped. And once it got creamier, it lost that dirty rice texture that I was talking about in the beginning. But the taste still somewhat reminded me of dirty rice, minus the spiciness. And I gotta be 100% honest, I didn't like this haggis. I love this haggis. It's honestly the best haggis I've ever eaten. Maybe without the heart and the liver, it's still premium haggis. Whether it's authentic or premium haggis or not, I really did enjoy it. I honestly didn't stop eating until half the can was gone. If you're wondering, I did not forget about the nutrition information. There was nothing on the can, and I could not find anything on Grant's site. I did find a couple other nutrition sites that did list some information on the Grant's haggis, but they were differing, and I didn't want to post something without really knowing it was true. Thank you all very much for watching. I would definitely recommend giving this a try if you've ever wanted to try haggis. Or, even if you haven't wanted to try haggis, give it a try. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.